You buckle up every time you get in a car. Click, it's automatic. But every morning, millions of kids climb into a giant yellow bus and don't. No seatbelts, no straps, just vinyl seats and backpacks. Imagine putting your most precious cargo inside a 30,000-pound rolling box and then deciding belts aren't necessary. That sounds reckless, right? So why don't most school buses have seatbelts? Hi, welcome to Why Explained. Today we're breaking down the surprising physics behind this yellow mystery. Most of us assume seatbelts are the ultimate safety device. Car, belt plane, belt roller coaster, definitely belt. So logically, school buses should have them too. And when people notice they don't, the usual explanations start flying around. It's about money. It's outdated policy. It's just laziness. After all, if seatbelts save lives in cars, wouldn't adding them to buses make them even safer? That sounds reasonable. But here's the twist. School buses were engineered with a completely different safety philosophy, one that doesn't rely on strapping you down at all. To understand this, we need to talk about motion. When a car crashes, the car stops suddenly. Your body doesn't. You keep moving forward at the same speed until something stops you. Hopefully, that something is a seatbelt. Otherwise, it's the dashboard or the windshield, which is not ideal. That's why cars need restraints. But school buses use a different strategy called compartmentalization. Picture an egg carton. Each egg sits inside a snug little pocket. If you shake the carton, the eggs don't go flying across the box. They're contained. School bus seats are designed the same way. They're spaced very close together. They're tall, they're thick, and they're heavily padded with energy-absorbing foam. If a bus suddenly stops, a child doesn't fly forward across the aisle. They slide just a few inches and hit the soft, padded seat in front of them. The seat absorbs the energy. The child stays inside their compartment. No belt required. And there's more physics at play. Mass matters. A fully loaded school bus can weigh over 30,000 pounds. A typical car? Around 4,000. In a collision between the two, the smaller vehicle usually experiences far greater acceleration forces. The bus doesn't snap to a violent stop the way a lighter car does. It distributes the impact differently because of its size and structure. It also sits high off the ground, above the typical impact zone of most passenger vehicles. So in many crashes, the force hits below the passenger area. According to safety data from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, school buses are among the safest vehicles on the road, far safer per mile traveled than passenger cars. So instead of restraining every child individually, the entire bus is engineered as one giant protective shell. It's not that seatbelts were forgotten, it's that the bus itself is the safety system. But here's where things get interesting. Compartmentalization works beautifully in front and rear collisions. But there's one scenario where it struggles: rollovers. If a bus tips sideways, there's no padded seat in front of you to catch the motion. Gravity suddenly becomes the main character. And in side-impact crashes, the protection isn't as straightforward as in a head-on stop. That's why regulations have slowly started to change. Smaller school buses, the ones under 10,000 pounds, are now required to have seat belts in the United States. They behave more like large vans than tanks, so they need restraints similar to cars. And several states, like California, Florida, and New York, now require seat belts even on large buses. But here's another wrinkle. Adding belts reduces seating capacity. Fewer seats mean more buses on the road. More buses mean more traffic exposure. And that changes the overall safety equation. So ironically, adding a safety feature could slightly increase overall risk in some situations. Safety isn't always about adding more equipment. Sometimes it's about balancing trade-offs. So the next time you see a yellow school bus rolling down the street, remember, it's not missing a safety feature. The whole bus is the safety feature. Instead of protecting each passenger with a belt, it protects everyone with design. High-backed seats, energy-absorbing padding, massive weight, and clever spacing that limits motion. It's not about ignoring seat belts. It's about using physics in a different way. Of course, as vehicles evolve and safety standards improve, that balance may continue to shift. Engineering is never frozen in time. It adapts. And sometimes, what looks like a flaw is actually a very deliberate decision. Science is full of strange little surprises. If questions like this make your brain light up, Why Explained has plenty more waiting for you. Stay curious.